He goes, well, I need you to blow into this breathalyzer. And I said, well, here's the bad news, Hoss. I'm not going to do it. I'm not, and I'll tell you why. Because if that piece of shit's calibrated wrong, I could be convicted of something I didn't even do. He goes, and I need you to do a field sobriety test. I'm like, just tell me what you want me to do. He goes, I want you to stand on one foot, raise the other foot. No bullshit, fuck that. I'm not doing that either. I'm not, and I'll tell you why. That's not a sobriety test. That's an agility test, and I'm not very goddamn agile, all right? I'm not, and it's not fair to me because I'm older. I'm not in that great a shape. I may or may not be a little drunk. Fuck, I don't know. You know what a fair drunk driving test is? Drunk driving, get in the car, let's do a couple of blocks. Let me show you some skills. I'm not a 21-year-old puking cheap tequila through my nose. I'm a... But anyway, they evacuate the Keys and everybody leaves except for one guy who's going to stay there and tie himself to a tree on the beach to prove a point. And the point was, he said that at 53 years of age, he was in good enough physical condition to withstand the wind and the rain from a Force 3 hurricane. All right. Let me explain something to you. It isn't that the wind is blowing. It's what the wind is blowing. If you get hit with a Volvo, it doesn't really matter how many sit-ups you did that morning. The cop says, Mr. White, you are being charged with drunk in public. I was like, hi. I was drunk in a bar. They threw me into public. I don't want to be drunk in public. I want to be drunk in a goddamn bar, which is perfectly legal. Arrest them. Well, he didn't arrest them. Instead, they call in for my arrest record. There's some good news. Satellites are linking up in outer space. Computer banks at NASA are kicking on. There's a telegraph in Fritch, Texas going beep 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 beep. It was weird. Everybody on the plane was nervous, but I'd been drinking since lunch, and I was like, take it down, I don't care. You ever had one of those days? It's something hard. I don't want to limp away from this wreck. The guy sitting next to me is losing his mind. Apparently, he had a lot to live for. He goes, hey man, hey man, if one of these engines fails, how far will the other one take us? All the way to the scene of the crash. Which is pretty handy, because that's where we're headed. I bet we beat the paramedics there by a half hour. The cop says, Mr. White, you are being charged with drunk in public. I was like, hi. I was drunk in a bar. They threw me into public. I don't want to be drunk in public. I want to be drunk in a goddamn bar, which is perfectly legal. Arrest them. Well, he didn't arrest them. Instead, they call in for my arrest record. There's some good news. Satellites are linking up in outer space. Computer banks at NASA are kicking on. There's a telegraph in Fritch, Texas going beep 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 beep. If I could give advice to the planet, it would be don't marry for looks alone, going either way. And I'll tell you why. If her belly gets too big and she doesn't want to work it off, you can go get a tummy tuck. They'll give you belly looks like a cheerleader. You know, if your eyes go bad, you can have LASIK surgery and they can give you 20/20 vision at any age. If your hearing starts to fail, they could put a device in your ear that'll make you able to hear as good as you could the day you were born. But let me tell you something, folks. You can't fix stupid. There's not a pill you can take. There's not a class you can go to. Stupid is forever.
If more than 3 people saw you do what you did, you don't sit on death row for 15 years, Jack. You go straight to the front of the line. Other states are trying to abolish the death penalty. My state's putting in an express lane.